Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, and good freaking morning to you all. My name is Dax, and we are going to be getting into, well, it's been a while, that's for sure, the ESL ANZ Champions 2020 qualifiers for DreamHack Masters Fall. And if you guys don't know me, my name is Dax. I've been casting here and there, of course, in the SEA region for time last season. I was able to cover the Taiwan Hong Kong bracket. Wasn't able to make it the SEA one, but this time, waking on up for it, and as well, given the notice, given the notifiers to our admins that we are gonna be getting into this one. So I'll be getting into our first game in just a bit, ladies and gentlemen, and we are gonna be getting into Nameless versus bayagster coming into this game, coming into this match. And our first map for this one will be. Can't wake up in the morning. It's Everdream LE. Covering StarCraft all the way in the morning. Pretty ridiculous to say the least. But we are going to be getting into our first match in just a bit. And as we said, it is Everdream LE. Looking into this bracket, though, we have so many different players. It is a double elimination bracket coming our way. And the best thing about it is it really just feels like it's just one of those times, one of those sessions where we can really have a great time overall. I'm really glad though that many of my fellow Filipino players are in this lobby, are in this bracket right now. And our first game will be a battle between Philippines versus Singapore, if I remember correctly. Yes, it is Nameless versus Bayagster. And I do have a lot of things to say about these two players, but as we are going to be getting into the game, all I gotta say is I'm really excited to get into this match. It's been a while since we did some StarCraft, since we did a live tournament, and let's get it on, let's get it done. Let's get into our first match of the day. A little bit of stuttering right there, but we are gonna be getting into the game. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here live for the ESL ANZ Champs 2020 qualifiers for the CS Australia bracket. And introducing first here on the bottom left of Everdream LE, it is our Blue Zerg, Nameless. And his opponents here on the top right, it's a man of mystery in the PH scene. It is our Red Protoss, Bayagster. So, PVZ coming into our first game here, ladies and gentlemen, and always a good starting point for me. PVZ is really a really fun matchup to check out. And this is only the first round of the upper bracket, so we have so many upcoming matches for you here and there. But looking into this already, we do have Bayax right now looking to set up on the outside. Everdream LE, of course, one of the maps where if you do set up on the outside, you can go for the pylon at any single time. In any case, we will see him. I'm fixing up the audio here and there. 2 gates set up here for Bagstar already. Chrono boosting at the Zealots. So it seems like he is going to be going for some extremely early aggression here. Nameless in the meantime going for the hatchery first, I believe. Going to be going over to the pool as well. And looking into this one, really goes to show that this is going to be a pretty impressive setup to say the least. So yeah, I'm just looking to check out what is going on here. And hello, Mr. Mizzle. If you could do me a quick little favor there, could you add me on the Liquipedia as soon as possible? But Bags are going to be going for as much damage as scouting as possible here onto the second base of Nameless. He is going to be still sending in some Zealots, and just really interesting that he does go for this Zealots aggression at the very start without going for that proxy. You'd expect, right, that when you do 2 gates like this, you are going to be bringing in the heat as close as possible. But Nameless right now, with the Zerglings here instead, we'll be checking on out how this is going to be working here for our Protoss player. Nameless, though, going to be sending in more Zerglings. He knows that this is going to be early Zealot aggression coming in thanks to the Overlord Scouts. And he is just going to be mitigating this push already. These Zealots are going to be looking so bad right now. And goodbye, Bayagster's push. And hello, the second base. Now, the shoe is completely on the other foot by this point. But as I say that, Bayagster has sent in another duo of these Zerglings. And this is going to be now for the Spine Crawler to try and add some defenses here. And yes, guys, this is a BO3 for these matches for the starting part of the bracket. Later on, it'll be a best of 5 for the qualifying matches themselves. And I do believe that there are going to be a number of players hopping on in. Since it's double elimination anyway, it's only the weekend. So it's only 2 distinct brackets coming for our player base. Though, next is going to be going online here for bayagster as soon as possible. A little later to the party though, so he has to play very defensively now. He goes for some old school sentries as well. No adepts, no stalkers, interesting enough. And he will be getting the Stargate by a 3.5 minute mark. But since Nameless was able to defend really well, he will be going for that third base up and running at the same time. And a pretty macro-focused affair here from our Zerg player to make sure that he can get things done. This is going to be the plate still going on down ASAP. And just looking into, well, matchup itself. Seems like for Nameless, he does want to try and add things up on the economic department. He feels like he's in such a good lead right now, especially as he was able to put a stop to whatever was coming his way anyway. And now there's going to be accepts going online here for bayagster. Phoenix as well for our Protoss player, and Nameless going to be spotting that one out. Sees the Phoenix going to be being built up. And in the meantime, it seems like for a Protoss, he does want to set up a quick little pylon there on the southeast. But yeah, anyway guys, this is only our first match, and if you use the exclamation point coverage right there, you can also check out the Cranky Duckling guys who have been doing the SA region for so long already. I believe they are focusing on Oreo versus Hyderia there, so that's going to be a really good matchup as well. But let's stay at home and let's stay in SEA, as these Zerglings right now are going to be coming online into the front line already. For some reason though, we are getting 3 starters here and there, sorry about that. But this is bayagster right now, defending with a pretty big bulk. So in essence though, since bayagster was forced to stop on the aggression, he is going to be stuck in behind. He is going to be on 2 base for quite a while till he feels pretty secure about this. But at the very least, he does want to go for the Phoenix play because he will try to find out a way or two to supply block his opponents as much as possible. Queens though here on the west side. Creep tumors now being spread as much as possible. In the front line though, here we go again. bayagster right now with the sentries in the middle of those 2 gateways. And he is going to be adding it on. Have 4 on the board. 4 gates and a Stargate to boot. And speaking of bayagster right now, going to be going for a little bit more of the fight again. These Zealots are going to need distraction force against the Queens. And in the meantime, 4 drones have gone down. Nameless going to be looking to defend against all of this. The Zerglings are going to be there to clean that one up. And bayagster sending in a really big force, and it doesn't really work out too well for him anyway. Highly unfortunate there for bayagster. It really just goes to show when you are going to get stopped on your aggression at the very start, you are going to be in quite a hole. And looking at the worker count though, Nameless is still in behind on the workers here. He hasn't gone for the big cycle of drones as of yet. He is going for more and more of that army just to make sure that anything bayagster does is going to get stopped. And this is allowing bayagster to at least keep up ahead in the economy for a little bit more. But as I say that, there we go with Nameless right now with the drone cycles coming our way. And this is going to be bayagster still sending these things on. Unfortunately for him, it feels like it is just a wake-up morning kind of thing. Not really the best micro so far from bayagster, but I do see a lot of great things from him. You know, we haven't really talked about a player base as of yet. For Nameless, I gotta say, this guy has been in the SG scene for quite a while already. And something to take note about Nameless, he's been very, very, what do you say, friendly with so many different people in the SA region. I've seen so many games of Nameless in just scrims, replay casting and all the like. So it really goes to show this guy is trying to improve his Zerg play and look to bring the faction at the top of the SG scene. SG scene has been dominated by the Protoss with the likes of Blisk, Loba, and all the like. So seeing someone play Zerg from SG is a little different to say the least. On the other side, bayagster, as we introduced him, he is the mystery man of the Philippine scene. He can play pretty much any race, and he does some really, really cheeky things here and there. Always an off-meta kind of play, so it really just goes to show for bayagster. He wants to do something funky as much as possible, and look at that already. Who even does this by the 7.5 minute mark? He is going to be going for some DTs here and there, and it is going to be 1 pylon to rule them all, 1 pylon to blind them. You see the Dark Shrine getting the players like that. It's very dangerous because you don't blink, it's going to be coming your way. bayagster though cleaning up house again, And another Overlord will be going down there. So Nameless is stuck with these balloons getting popped every single time. And some drones also going to be going down as well, because the DPs are online and ready to go. Easy does it, sneaky peeky. Bayagster wanting to play this one out. And this is just so many upgrades here for Bayagster. He went for the double forge. He went for the tech there. But unfortunately for Bayagster, he's going to get hampered trying to get this third Nexus point up and running. Luckily for him, though, he does have a good number of units there to defend. And Nameless looking a little shady here because these Dark Templar are just getting cut above the rest. For the time being, you have DT right now going over to the third side as well. Banelings in the meantime gonna get produced at the same time. And here we go with the Ravagers going for the battle on down yet again. DT's now trying to get the hell out of there for the time being. In behind again, this Phoenix really not letting up whatsoever. The Queen though doing enough DPS. And really just goes to show, in this game, there are so many good ideas from both of our players, but execution-wise, there is still a little bit left to be desired. You kinda want to see Nameless defend these outermost aces. You kinda want to see Bayagster set up and basically do all he can and more. For the Phoenixes, you know, you want to see a little bit more of that Stargate control, but Bayagster is going to be getting a big bulk here. He's going to be adding things up with the Immortal as well. Blink Stalker is going to be next on the list. And really interesting, he went for both the proxy tech as well as the proxy gate here. So Nameless does know that this is coming. Nameless does know that that is there. So he has to be very, very careful right now coming into this one. Force fields are pretty good there to mitigate the push. Baldo will connect. Battery overcharge is ready to go just in case. We are going to be seeing a pretty big fight coming our way in the starting points of this game. So 10 minutes in the game, we are going to get +1 online for both weapons and armor there for Bayagster. But here we go again with the force fields. Baneling's trying to get a little bit more done, but the stars are out in front and they don't want to be busting on that. There we go though with a little bit of the folk action. Zealots right now going to get caught out in the open, and the batteries right now keeping them alive yet again. Here we go with another cycle of force fields, and Bayagster is just like, hey, good sir, would you like to enter my base this way? It's just an open door approach there for Bayagster, and Nameless deciding, okay, I don't really want to go for this right now. Even army count, Bayagster in the lead of the workers out of nowhere. And even though Nameless has some really good macro in terms of the base department, he is really lagging behind on that worker counts. So in any case, DT's right now going to be next on the list. Zealots are going to be there as well. Recall right now to get the hell out of there. And seems like Bayagster are going to get caught out in the open. He was trying to go for the Warp Prism drop, but Nameless was on it. And something to take note, this means that our Zerg player's army is really just cut into two. Want to go for aggression, want to also go for the defense. And Nameless kind of has to decide what the plan is going to be coming into this one. So for now, he's not really doing as much as he would like, per se. He's not really getting the bust down at the very starts. And this is now these Banelings again, trying to do a little bit more. Though Immortals to reinforce, and looking at the army count right now, Bayagster has some 5 Immortals right there ready to go. The Zergling spotting out this fort base up and running, and you also see some roaches here against the tech. And for Bayagster, if he does lose this pylon, does lose this tech, it does stop him from getting a little bit higher tier plays into the Warp Gate races. But hey, the Banelings right now gonna get caught out in the open there. And the force fields are pretty good from Bayagster again. Gonna be keeping his army on the other side. And in the meantime, Warp Prism right now gonna get loaded on in. But for Bayagster, this is gonna be the brawl here. This is gonna be the fight. And this is gonna be him defending as much as possible in the front line. Zealots right now gonna be out in front. Here we go yet again with the Banelings one more time. But these armored units are good to go. And the bust isn't as painful as you would expect. So it really just goes to show there for Bayagster. He survives to the nth degree. He's looking really, really good there, keeping the proper units in the front line, making sure that they are all good to go. This Twilight Council is something he will need to protect, or we will need to rebuild later on. But it really goes to show, our Protoss player right now is just playing Turtle and loving every little bit of it. 80 workers, 263, but Nameless is double the army count right now. And if Nameless decides to go for the aggression, decides to go for the commitment, he might be able to get some really good damage against his opponents. Though. going online very soon here. We are on Lair Tech, and I just gotta commend, you know, these classic skins making a comeback. But the Baylings are gonna be in the middle line, and they will be able to destroy a few drones there, a few probes there in behind. Still, though, Nameless wanting to get the hell out of there, but he knows these Baylings are gonna go on a one-way trip. And bayagster reinforcing yet again with the Stalkers, with the Sentries, with the Immortals, beating back the opponents in another instance. So at the very least for bayagster, he loses a bunch of probes, but it's not the worst. And gonna be a brawl into the middle yet again. Nameless might be wanting to play into the map here. Everdream LE with these narrow chokeholds on the low ground. And Baylings as well as Biles gonna be very, very painful, to say the least. bayagster, though, is out for blood, and he knows he can go for his own kind of aggression. Seems like, though, the Twilight Council and the Dark Shrine have been cleaned up, so our Protoss player will be needing to rebuild that one yet again. Still, though, force fields on the east side one more time. Stalker's gonna be there as well. Here we go with a little bit of the brawl, one more go, and with the boss connecting from the air, it's bayagster reinforcing with another cycle of Stalkers. He does cancel it out, though, as he does go for transport mode, but the bow will connect at the last moment. So bayagster right now gonna get caught unaware here, and it'll be Nameless looking for the cleanup onto both the left and the right side. And here comes the concave right now from the Zerg, bringing in the DPS on. bayagster has the back on out, and he is running out of army. Way too dangerous there from bayagster if he can't get the reinforcement cycles on, because he was behind on the army counts, and that is absolutely painful here for bayagster. Nameless right now is out for blood yet again. He will be bringing it on, and even more so, these Stalkers as well as these Immortals gonna get caught in the middle, and the Baneling Cocoons to just kill for the coup de grace there. bayagster is in a bit of a pickle here, ladies and gentlemen. He has gotten +2/+2, but it might not be enough. His army count is a pittance. The Nameless and his Zerg swarm is ready to go, and this is gonna be our Zerg army in position to blow everything up to Kingdom Come. That army count is looking too much, and Nameless will take our first game here. Just that army count from the get-go, Nameless playing it in the military focus, and in the end, he's able to win it that way. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. First game done dusted. Nameless will take the W. And a pretty good start here to, well, the Dude, the name escapes me. The ESL ANZ Champs qualifiers here for the SEA and Australia region. So it really just goes to show that for Nameless, he was just able to defend so many times, and he was able to, even though he was kind of slipping on the macro department in terms of his worker counts, he always had this distinct army lead. And in that time, bayagster decided to go onto the outskirts without basically having the reinforcement cycle in a prim and proper spot. So that's where it really just hurts him in the long run. So that was first map, Everdream LE. And for our second one, we are gonna be getting into our second gonna be getting into our second map of the day, and it will be, I know I'm getting disconnected every time. No, bayagster needing to fix this up. No problem there. Race check. By the way, okay, it seems like our players are good to go for our second game. And as we are going to be getting into the second map, Nameless with the victory though on Everdream. And for our second map of this set, it will be Ice and Chrome LE. We have no third map as of yet. And we will be ready to go whenever these two are available. But Ice and Chrome, more macro focus this time. You might be able to see bayagster expand a lot. Nameless also going to be the same thing. But looking into that game, a few risks right there from bayagster. Some panning out, some not really panning out. And I'd love to see a little bit more control from both of our players. If I remember correctly, these two players are in the Masters bracket. So it really goes to show they do have a lot of know-how in the game itself. But besides that, that is just pretty much it. Seems like, though, our next game is ready to go. This is going to be Ice and Chrome LE with Nameless with a 1-0 lead. Let's get it on, let's get it done, and let's get into map number 2. So for some reason, my game's stuttering every single time I try to turn on the audio. So, going to be resetting that one after this sets. But first things first, introducing on the bottom left of Ice and Chrome and LE. He's the man from Singapore. He's the guy with the 1-0 lead. It is our Blue Zerg, Nameless. And his opponents, here on the top right, he's trying to crawl on back from a 1-map deficit. And he's gonna be looking to bring in another flavor of ice cream here. It is our Red Protoss, bayagster. You know, for bayagster, he's always on a mission, basically. He's looking to get some healings on in IRL, and in StarCraft, he just wants to be as impressive as can be. You know, bayagster, he's been one of the stalwarts of the local scene in the PH. He's always in the top 3 in one of our tournaments, in our local tournaments, so, against the likes of Ender as well as Nux. So it really goes to show this guy is one to watch out for. And it's a good start for our tournament here to be able to feature someone from the PH, Nameless, though. In the meantime, as we said before, always practicing, always trying to get the Zerg ahead in the SG scene, which is dominated by the Protoss. But we are going to be seeing a pretty similar start here for Nameless. Hatchery first into the pool, but making sure though that he will get the scouting as soon as possible, so he doesn't get surprised by those early zealots. But for bayagster, his wall isn't going to be as narrow as before, so he is going to be playing it a little more standard instead. 1 gate, 1 core, expansion is there as well by the 2-minute mark. And he understands that earlier on, the aggression didn't really work out as well as he would like, so he is going to be doing something a little different instead. In any case though, paying attention, Queen's gonna be going online here and now. And what is gonna be the play here? That's gonna be the question. What is gonna be the plan of action? And I do wonder what our players really want to do per se coming into this game. So for Bagster, playing it a little more standard as we've said before. He is gonna be getting his gateways up and running. Metabolic Boost gonna be going online here for Nameless though. And just looking at how this is gonna be working on out, I wouldn't be surprised to see Nameless go for the expansion. And as I say that, he does go for the 3rd hatchery because he sees now that he sees now that, well, his opponent isn't gonna be doing something cheeky per se in terms of the early parts of this game. And looking at how Nameless has been playing, he does want to go for a macro-focused economy as much as possible. He wants to go for those drones as quick as can be. And earlier on, he did have to react, can even say maybe overreacting a little bit in terms of the Protoss ground fleets that was coming his way. So this time, I want to see from Nameless, just keep up on that drone count, stay ahead of bayagster, because he is doing a good job of staying ahead in terms of the bases. Anyway, though, any bayagster game will always have something funky, and this time we are going to get that proxy gateway on the northwest side. But Nameless, this guy has a 6th sense kind of thing. He immediately sees this one out. And for bayagster, I think this is just all about getting the reinforcement cycle as quick as can be. Wouldn't you be surprised to see him pull for some adept play here? And he's going to be going for a gateway as well as a Twilight Council. So early tech, as we said. Will it be the Glaives? Or will it be the Blink Stalker here? Will we be able to go for a little bit of the parting there? But as this Ursadon is just watching the Zergling try to kill everything already, the Probe will try to go for a last stand. Will be going on down there. Gateway, though, will be morphed into Warp Gate here. And if bayagster wants to protect this, he can actually go for a cycle or 2. But I don't think it's going to make it whatsoever. This pylon will be going down ASAP. And bayagster, again, going to get caught unaware. Going to get caught out in that instance. But it seems like he will be going for the Resonating Glaives, increasing the attack speed of these Adepts almost 2-fold, almost half-fold. I don't know how to... 45%, that's a number right there. But Stargates are going to be going online, and these starships are truly meant to fly. As for the time being, Cyber Core upgrade +1. Interesting. Here from bayagster. You don't see that too often, especially by the 5-minute mark, but these Zerglings right now are going to be meeting these Adepts head-on yet again. In any case though, Baxter still sticking behind 2 bases, but ahead on the worker count. Nameless in the meantime, since he saw the proxy gateway there, he decides to go for a little bit of the setup and get a little bit of the army yet again. So it is going to be the Phoenixes as well as the Adepts, and I love seeing this composition. It's very, very painful to deal with, and the thing about it is Phoenixes are really good as long as nothing is countering them. So when you're playing Phoenix, you just gotta be quick or you will be dead. And speaking of quick and dead, these resonating glaives for the Adepts gonna be very, very useful as well. Onto the main base, already trying to get the hamper on. 2 drones have gone down, and it seems like bayagster is attacking 3 bases at once. What big balls right there. Nameless though gonna be catching him out with those queens. And Adept gonna be going on down in the first place, but bayagster going for the early aggression. And it seems like while these Adepts are gonna get cleaned up, it's still not gonna be too worthwhile because he only gets 5 of these drones, as well as hampering this third base for the time being. So as we were saying, looking at the Phoenix Adept composition, it really just means that on the ground you destroy so many light units here and there. So if Nameless is stuck on Link Tech, he will just get torn apart at the seams. And speaking of the Adepts, they are very quick at killing workers as well with the Shade Play as well as the Glaives. So that's really what the focus is going to be on. Phoenixes in the meantime, you go for the Graviton Beam, doesn't really matter what you lift up, but it will just be all about getting the pickup ASAP. But I love what Nameless is doing right now. He has all these queens clustered up, so even if one of these queens do get lifted on over, it will still be enough DPS to shut up the Phoenix as quick as possible. So now though, bayagster finally feeling confident to go for that third base, and that's what we see from bayagster as a little bit of a trend. He's very happy to go for 2 bases ASAP, but going for that third base against Zerg isn't really his kind of thing. He wants to get a big army so he can really put the hamper on. And speaking of the hamper, this is going to be the Flock Phoenixes onto the main base. Where is that Queen Mass Parade? It is gone to second base, so it really goes to show bayagster catching his opponent out. But speaking of his opponent, Nameless is bringing in the roaches, and I don't really think bayagster can do anything about this one. So as the roaches do put a stop to the upcoming third base, the Phoenixes are looking as well to find a little bit more Adepts right now. Gonna be in pairs. And these are the drones going down. This time bayagster getting so much value in this attack. And that's gonna be 9 drones for the price of 2 Adepts. I gotta say, that is so worthwhile. And this is where bayagster can really bring it back. He's still down on bases, 4-2 by this point, as the 4th hatchery will be going up ASAP. But just looking at how Nameless is really bringing it against his opponent, he just wants to make sure this Roach Squad is enough to stop this upcoming expansion base. But with the Immortal right now in tow, bayagster should be feeling very, very confident. He goes for a little more of an armored composition here. And is this really for real? Is for realsy really this is gonna be the upgrade that we see? I guess so. Flux Veins gonna be going online here. Void Ray Speed gonna be something to watch out for, I believe. And yeah, okay, that's interesting. You know, I might be wrong. And okay, he's going for Carrier instead. He stops it. I wouldn't be surprised if he does go for the range upgrade. Does he have it? No, he doesn't have the Phoenix range upgrade, so that's just really it there. But Carriers are gonna be arriving soon, and only bayagster, guys, only bayagster to do something this funky. Oh my god, bayagster, this guy, absolute madman to say the least. And I love it. I love it already that bayagster is bringing us something like this at the start of this tournament, at the start of this bracket. But the Queens right now trying to just get in the way of those Phoenixes as per usual. 2 drones have gone down. And the thing to really take note is, even though Nameless still has that worker count lead, bayagster has just been the one really bringing it against his opponent as much as possible. So that's where it's kind of ridiculous in a way. It really feels like for bayagster, he just wants to be the biggest pain in the butt there. But I gotta really commend the Nameless for just feeling all the pressure there and still doing enough to stay ahead every single time. He's up on the work count, he's up on the army, and in all honesty, I gotta say for bayagster, he has to be very careful against this push. A while ago though, we saw bayagster play very good on the defense on Everdream, not so much on the attack. So will it be the same kind of case? Because Nameless does have a little bit of the tendency to leave a few things here and there at home. This time though, it seems like it's only the Queen Force on the defense, and yeah, at the very least, he is just trying to make sure that he has a handle on his opponent. But it seems like for bayagster, this time the confidence on this guy is going as high as possible. He will be Setting up that fourth base up and running already. Burrowtech, though, gonna be next on the list here for Nameless. If I remember correctly, we did see our Zerg decide to go for the Lurker Den, so it is gonna be a very ground-based composition here for Mr. Nameless. He's almost all maxed out. He's at the 81 worker count, so just a little bit more on the army, and he can go for the push as quick as can be. I'd love to see him get a little more gas, though, because he is investing a lot on these lurkers, because there you go. They're popping on over, and we'll see these metamorphoses do as much as they can. So remember, guys, this is the ESL ANZ Champs Open Qualifier number 1. And we still have a long way to go. There's still so many matches coming our way. There is still a tomorrow. And I do have a tournament by around 2 p.m. So if I can't finish up coverage per se, because there is a lower bracket, then, I'm just going to be helping that, throwing it over to the Cranky Ducking guys who are doing an amazing job, by the way, all the freaking time. And this is going to be Nameless right now, looking to go for the push here. Onto the forefront, onto the outskirts of this third base, setting up with those lurkers there. And you can see that Nameless has basically built him a zone of death. There is no crossing this one. There is no flying. There is no going here. But the carriers have arrived, and the interceptors are getting some good DPS on. Now, the problem here for bayagster, though, is I don't think he does have an observer. So he won't be able to see those lurkers as much as possible. High Templar right now trying to float on over. It only has feedback, though. No Psionic Storm as of yet for the time being. bayagster going to be losing these spellcasters in the forefront yet again. Nameless, this guy can easily tear apart this Nexus point, and it's just so easy for him right now. Since bayagster, forgetting about getting that detection, and that's just where the problem really lies in. He doesn't know that his opponent got that Lurker Den. Hive Tech gonna be up and running. And this is where the Lurkers get even scarier. You're able to get the Burrow upgrade, you're able to get the attack range upgrade, and these things really packing a punch everywhere and anywhere. Charge lots, though, they're gonna be looking to survive, backing on out there. Here we go, though, with the cleanup crew. And these 4 carriers actually getting the DPS on. But Hydralisk in behind right now, cleaning up the interceptors here and there. And even though it's a little bit of a standstill as adaptive talents do go online, the thing about this is Nameless is just feeling so confident right now, to say the least. Everything looking really good here for Nameless so far. He's adding up on the base count here, there, and everywhere. It really just goes to show here for a Zerg player, when he's able to focus on the economy, he can really do all he can and more here. Still, though, for the time being, this is gonna be all up to the interceptors yet again. Cleanup. My name is bayagster against the lurkers. He just needs to get a little bit more of that observer range. That's what observation mode is all about. Hydra's right now gonna be numbering into the many here for Nameless, because he realizes he needs to shoot the air rather than the ground. And these Hydras trying to stay alive. Those spines connecting onto those small little jet planes. And +2 gonna be adding something even more so. Though, seems like for bayagster, if you're gonna be going for the Golden Armada, add something else. And we are gonna be getting the Tempest up and running coming into this one. It'll be looking pretty spicier, that's for sure. And here comes the Phoenixes onto the west side yet again. Beautiful Graviton Beast to get the catch on. The Phoenix is going to be looking to get a little bit more of the CC there. And while the Hydras are trying to clean up the interceptors, there we go with the disruption beams from in behind. This is what the Protoss fleet is all about. And bayagster trying to bring in an air show here, but the Corruptors are just always the biggest pain against any kind of air units. And Nameless realizing he needs to get a lot more anti-air coming into this game. What an idea, and what an execution. This is a pretty interesting game to say the least, and 14 minutes in, we do see bayagster pretty confident on 5 bases. He does need to keep up, though, on the economy, because he's basically using everything, which is not a bad thing, that's for sure. But I'd love to see him have a little more of a reserve, per se, because, yeah, it's just not going to pan out for him if he loses everything. It's going to be the same case as ever Dream LE. On the other side, Nameless is very, very happy to be almost maxed out and have a good bulk of minerals in behind. He's using all his gas, though, for these Hydras, these Lurkers, as well as these Corruptors. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for a few links here and there to add in reinforcements if need be. But a little bit of deja vu here. Same kind of case, same kind of attack. And here we go yet again with the cleanup one more time, trying to bring in the pain, trying to bring in the hurts, and looking to just basically go for the roll again. Goodbye to this next point one more time. The Corruptors are going to be in position yet again. And these Archons right now are going to be adding things up. in terms of the ground department. AoE damage never gonna hurt, but these High Templars need to get Psystorm ASAP. They want to tear apart these Hydras as quick as can be. He needs to make sure that energy is online as soon as possible. But these Hydras now trying to bring in the DPS yet again. A lot of servers in position and cleanup. My name is bayagster here. It really just goes to show for our Protoss player, he's very confident on the defense, but here comes Corruptors, and this is gonna be them trying to pick things apart. Void Rays though are in position to add things on the DPS department, and the Prismatic Alliance, when charged up, can be tearing these things apart as quick as possible. But there we go already with the Tempest getting the hamper on yet again. And my oh my, it's the DPS right now from bayagster, looking very scary up in the air. But it seems like for bayagster, he really just wants to focus as much as possible in the air. He's just adding things up here. He's really doing all he can in that instance. And speaking of bayagster, he is going to be going for the brawl there, Nameless in the meantime, with the Hydras again to stop this push. And looking at this with the Corruptors in the middle, it really feels like we are a little bit in a standstill here. But as the longer this game goes, I gotta say, I'd like to put my money on bayagster here, because if he's able to get the biggest air fleet ever, then that's gonna be basically be unstoppable. And that's not how Nameless wants to play this out. He's been in such a big lead for quite a while already, that's for sure. And I think the biggest thing right now he can do is play a little bit to what he was doing a while ago and bother his opponent rather than going for the all-in attack in the middle of the map. Because bayagster, when he has his units concentrated, it's just too much to handle. And in any case, seems like drones are going to be going on down because these zealots are bringing the pain yet again. 10 of them done and dusted by the warriors there. And it seems like it is bayagster the one trying to bring in the pain every single time. In any case, here we go with more and more expansions. And I think this is the first time I've really seen Ice and Chrome this littered with bases. But Nameless, these Corruptors looking for the cleanup yet again. A few of these ships going to be going on down. That carrier is a big target. And goodbye, good riddance indeed. So what is next on the list here for bayagster? What's going to be the plan? What is going to be the way to go? He has gotten a few Colossi here and there, which is pretty interesting. Because looking at what Nameless is doing on the ground, he still has those roaches. But of course, the Hydras are going to be an easy pick-off crew right there. In any case, Psystorm right now looking for the connection. And oh no, he hits his own observers. Those things are very, very light and very, very easy to destroy. So, gotta be very careful with that one, Mr. bayagster. Nameless though, knocking on his door yet again. And these Darkness right now looking to get in position. Corruption though against the Nexus Point. So many of these Corruptors up in the air, tearing apart these bases as quick as possible. And things are looking very, very dire here for bayagster. Nameless, this guy, you can really name him to be one of those Zergs really trying to come up and up. And you can see that he does have a lot to go on in the macro department. He has a really good foundation in that instance. And this is going to be him realizing that, okay, these Corruptors, I have so many of them, might as well make sure that the Stargates are going to be completely useless by this point. And I guess the problem right now for Nameless is since he has so many of these Corruptors, he has 24 of them. When bayagster decides to not even build any more air units, they're just basically gonna be here for base destruction, and that army count, that's gonna hurt him in that instance. So it does feel like for Nameless, he has a little bit of an issue right now. He does clean up very well against the Stargate units, but with that many Corruptors in the air, the army count is pretty even per se. You can say that these 24 Corruptors, which is around, what, 48 supply, if my math is correct, then what do they even really do against a ground-based composition? This is the biggest thing he can do right now with this. Goodbye to bayagster's expansions. Goodbye to him going onto the outskirts. And with a flock like this, it is very scary, that's for sure, to basically build up a base or two somewhere that isn't safe. But at the very least, bayagster has a very good ground-based composition right now. And he can go for the counter-attack, and that's what's happening here. 20 minutes in to this game. Dark Templars on the south side. The big bulk on the north side instead. And Nameless is in a little bit of trouble here. Can he actually defend against these two ground-based compositions? That's going to be the question, because these are a number of Immortals. These are going to be some Archons as well, some High Templar. And Nameless right now gonna be bringing in the Lurkers as well as the Hydras yet again. There we go with a catch Size Storm to pretty much stop Nameless in his traps. The good storms there though to just tear things apart yet again. But still, it's the same kind of issue. +3 right now on the ground weaponry here for bayagster. No armor as of yet, so if he does walk into Lurkers, he will just basically die as quick as possible. But for now though, Hydra's now gonna get reinforced. And this does put Nameless in a spot of trouble because he's now down on the worker count. He has to stay ahead on the army count with the Hydras. And since these Corruptors are up in the air here, then this is where bayagster can truly shine because he's just adding up things here and there as much as possible. Still though, gotta say, what a game this has been so far. And looking into, well, what Nameless is up to per se, he just kind of wants to push into one of these bases. But with bayagster ready to go in the middle yet again, he does just want to defend as much as possible. He just wants to make sure that he is ready to go again and again. And the thing about bayagster right now is he still has a good economy in behind all of this. He's rebuilding his Nexus. He's adding things up here, there, and everywhere. And for the time being, Nameless has to make a decision on what his plan is going to be in the first place. Because it just hasn't really helped out per se, as we do have bayagster right now getting hampered here by the Lurkers. And you know, it's been a very interesting game, that's for sure. It's been very different from what we usually see. And I like that we have something this interesting to start things off in our brackets. As for now, these Corruptors gonna be going over to the east side. And what is even the plan here? So a little bit of a reprieve on both of our players. A little bit of a time to take a little bit of a break. That's for sure. And hey, when a game does go for a little bit of a standstill here, it does mean that drops are gonna be the biggest thing to use in the first place. And speaking of the drops right now, trying to get in behind yet again, looking for a little bit of flank here and there. As this is gonna be bayagster right now, bringing in his bulk to win another go. Dockers looking to march forward. Meantime, as these creep tumors are going to be going on down, Nameless losing a little bit more and more of that map control here. Where did it kind of go wrong there for Nameless? Because when those Corruptors really couldn't really do anything anymore. More drones going on down already. Things are hurting Nameless here, there, and everywhere. And what is going to be the plan of action here for bayagster? He just wants to go on to the attack yet again. He wants to bring in these units, and he wants to make sure that he can use this to the best degree. In any case though, it seems like we are getting a number of matches here and there being finished up already. But still though, bayagster staying on to this side. More drones have gone down. Zealots are there onto the third base. And this is just Nameless looking to clean up house yet again. No stop, no popping, no giving up whatsoever. And really for bayagster, he just has such a good handle right now. He's putting on the aggression in every shape and form. He's adding up to his collection of kills here and there. And I gotta say, in that number lies there, Nameless. That number really lies, but still those Corruptors up in the air. He has turned a few of them into Broodlords though. So at the very least, he will add things up in that department. But since bayagster, oh, he doesn't have Blaze Stalker as of yet. So Nameless right now has a good idea of what can really put a counter to this one. Effective range could be very, very useful here, there for those Broodlords. But that's a big disruption there from the Disruptors there. And what a shot from the beam. What a shot from the Nova. And the purification absolutely essential yet again to get the big blow up in the ball. My oh my though, this game going the long haul here. Broodlords right now flying up in the air yet again. Looking for a little bit of the slam on down in one more time. Still though, a big air fleet to say the least. And Nameless Gonna be looking to just take all the map control away from bayagster and more. Now with the Broodlords online, it basically says to bayagster that he can't come near yet again. Not just the lurkers, but also with the Broodlords. And it's gonna be time for the interception. Is this gonna be Nameless looking for the killing blow? Can he actually get things done in this instance? As there we go right now with the Purification Novas yet again. Doesn't really get too much there though, as those Disruptors are gonna be caught in behind in this instance. Still though, another Stamon down with the Broodlords. And here we go with a little bit more of the punish yet again. Hydra's gonna be pushing on forward in another go. And can bayagster survive? That's gonna be the question there. It's raining Broodlings, hallelujah. Goodbye to this army force. And where is the recall? Not gonna happen. bayagster now gonna get caught out in the open there. And that is just a really good attack there from Nameless. He finds out that he can catch his opponent off guard. He can catch his opponent mid-transition. And right now, Nameless is going to be looking to defend against these Zealots still, though. This is a big, slow army up in the air. And this is going to be some really good damage against Nameless yet again. We are running out of drones. We are running out of minerals and gas there for Nameless. So it's either he wins now, or he will not win at all. Time is ticking. And what is going to be the plan here? The thing about Nameless right now is he will kind of lose in the base race because his army is slow and he doesn't have as many buildings as his opponent. For bayagster, in the meantime, his DPS isn't going to be the biggest, so if it does go to a base race like that, it really will be very, very close. It will be down to the wire. And you can say that for Nameless, if he does have an idea of where to go in the first place, then he can really optimize his pathway there. But the confidence to go for air units again. bayagster, this guy knows no bounds. And he is just going to be looking to bring in even more against his opposition. Because these Broodlings are ready to go. Corruptor is going to be there in position again. Tempest going to get caught out in the open immediately. Comes from Ire just to die. These Zealots are just getting torn apart as well by the Broodlings. The Hydra's starting to get the DPS on in behind. And a good catch here from Nameless with the flank on the east side. Corruptors and Broodlords doing all they can and more to tear things apart. And where's the army right now for bayagster? Nowhere to be seen because it is going to be busy fighting against the Hydras there on the west instead. And Ice and Chrome melting on down to a boiling point here because this is Nameless right now, bringing in the heat. And he is just adding things up to his collection. Cleanup. My name is the Zerg Swarm. Goodbye to another base up and running here. And bayagster is on the ropes. Another Tempest gonna get caught out in the open here. And while the Zealots are cleaning up the Great Aspire, it doesn't really matter in this instance because Nameless has everything he can and more out in front. He is feeling very confident right now. And the only thing that can hurt the Zerg here if too many of these buildings do go down. So that's what the Zealots are all about. The Zerglings though are in position to clean up house. And well, it's Nameless surgically tearing apart these bases here and there. One by one, base will go down. Corruptor is going to be on the east side as well, and with the Broodlords right now looking for another target. These are the photon cannons next on the list. Goodbye to another base here. And for bayagster, he's running out of those workers. He only has a mothership out in the open. And the question is, does Nameless even have detection here? I believe he can bring in an Overseer, so that's not going to be the biggest problem per se. Warp Prism is ready to go here on the south side. But at the very least, a few more reinforcements here and there. And bayagster going to be going for a last stand perhaps against this army. But this has been a series to watch out for. And this has been a 29-minute game on Ice and Chrome. It's been pretty exciting in all honesty. Every single time there has been something new, courtesy of bayagster. I gotta say, Nameless though answering back in full force in the best way every single time. In any case though, Nameless is ready to go here in position. And the lurkers are going to be looking to destroy these pylons ASAP. Cybercorm next on the list. And here we go right now with the Broodlords giving chase yet again. My oh my, Nameless, this guy has really shown his improvement, really shown that he can be one of the best in the region if given a good platform. And while bayagster is cleaning up house here, this mothership is going to be something to watch out for. It's not really every single day you see a mothership, and in this instance, Nameless has to be a little careful, as we said before. If there's a base race, he's going to be losing it out on speed, so these Broodlords need to be as efficient as possible. Hydra's now going over to the south side, these probes are running on away. The thing to note is, I wouldn't be surprised to see these two players actually trade sides. And I'd see a hatchery on the northeast. I'd see a Nexus on the southwest, and we go again and go for a reset in any instance. But as funny as that can really sound, as this is going to be a little more cleanup here from bayagster. He does add in a lot in this instance. With his mothership, that cloaking field is very, very useful per se, and it does mean that these air units have to concentrate onto the mothership immediately. With a lot of stalkers down below, that's going to be a really big thing for him to mitigate any kind of air aggression. And here we go though, again, mothership right now, not using the time warp as of yet. Starstorm's going to get thrown on out instead. The Bags are going to be losing that capital ship right there, and this is going to be the Stalkers right now going to get caught out in the open. Blink Stalker though to push on forward. Time warp going to be there as well, but cleanup! My name is Nameless, and he will win it there. Goodbye to the mothership, goodbye to the forces, and Nameless will move on to round number 2 after a 31-minute game against bayagster. But that's gotta be it there, ladies and gentlemen. What a match that was. What a show we got. And Nameless, absolutely impressive to say the least. He played the macro game from the get-go as strong as possible. And what a match that was. What a game that was. And I just gotta commend Nameless and what he just did in that game. You know, that I was very worried for him. There's those corruptors just gonna be useless supply by that point, but no. Making them into the Brood Lords, the best thing he could really do in that instance. Baxter forgetting to get that Blink Stalker at the penultimate moment. And in the end, that is gonna be our series there. 2-0 for Nameless. What a victory for him. Absolutely impressive to say the least. So gotta say, you know, it has been one for the books. But that is our first match of the day, and we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned, stick around. This is the ANZ SCA Qualifier number 1. Just gonna set something up yet again, look for another match, and we will be right back.